It's a culture war, Phil. It's a culture war, and it's going to last another decade because we're all just men searching for our wives as we're lost in an ocean of pain and suffering and trauma because it's an odyssey of shit.
At least,
Did I make it deep enough? Am I allowed to curse?
There you go. At least this war isn't making my gas more expensive or my eggs more expensive, and my lettuce doesn't give me diarrhea for a month. So I guess that out of all the wars that we could have, maybe this stupid ass Odyssey Culture War is the best one.
Honestly, it felt kind of nice having a stupid movie culture war pop up out of nowhere, especially one that you knew was going to go the opposite of how the entire right wing has been trying to build this. Just so everybody knows, we're talking about the obviously there's the brand new Christopher Nolan Odyssey movie just came out. Phil immediately saw it in theaters, got into the group chat and immediately went, "My life is different. I feel things now. The greatest film I've ever seen." Producer Ben saw it and he was like, "That was nice." And then I have a toddler, so I went to the beach because I hang out with my family instead of fleeing from them at movie theaters.
I think it's a solid movie. Like I've said on the PDS, I have some friends that disagree. Like they're more like artsy director types, and rather than turning it into a fight with them, I'm like, all right, fair game. You're looking for something else out of a movie. But to your point, when you're like, oh, we're doing this again, but it's against Christopher Nolan. Yeah, I think that you were talking about this. When we think of like Lady Ghostbusters, I think like the culture war around that was so much more vulnerable. It was kind of like a kid getting picked on at the playgrounds compared to then that same bully going up against like someone that actually knows how to fight. Like you knew like there was no doubt that they could fuck you up. And also like the culture war stuff against Christopher Nolan makes no sense. Like this is a man who like he's gotten shit for making non-woke movies. He got shit because like Oppenheimer was so white. And like it made no sense to target Nolan in this movie. But of course they saw Elliot Page, they saw Lupita Nyong'o, and they went, ah! They lost their minds.
Yeah, so there's a few things just to catch everybody up. Number one, we are 10 years, because there's been a few accounts that have been popping up online about 10 years ago today type of things. I think it's become easier for these AI accounts to scrape and track things a little bit better than people used to lovingly make these. And so I had a jump scare when they were like, Lady Ghostbusters released in theaters 10 years ago today. And I was like, ooh, because that was it was three things. Lady Ghostbusters, the Star Wars Force Awakens having Finn specifically be a black stormtrooper, and then later the Captain Marvel movies with Brie Larson. And specifically because of some statements she made about like, hey, it's weird that all these reporters, all these like film journalists are all men. Like, why don't we mix it up a little bit? Those three things basically kept a huge section of YouTube alive for, I want to say, about 7 years. Like, it became these guys' whole fucking personalities.
Dude.
Every thumbnail had to have Brie Larson in it. Every thumbnail had to be a thing about this. There was a lot of stuff happen with it. And some people believe that this is the type of shit that actually got Trump elected the first term. Because it was 4chan, Gamergate aligned kind of side psyops that had worked in. And so when Elon Musk and a few of these other lunatics got together and they said, a trans person in my Greek picture? Sir, there's no room for woke gay in Greek mythology. And then everyone literally was like, have you never been to a museum? Like, every other pot is people like going to town on each other. I've said this on other podcasts before, but like the Greeks weren't into olive oil for the cooking. All right, does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody? I don't think they have virgin olive oil in those islands. Anyway, so it was a good movie. You saw it?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I felt every time I see Anne Hathaway crush it in a movie, I feel so vindicated. I won't name names, but I just remember being at SourceFed years ago. It's very random that this is one of the things that stays with me. But there were a lot of Anne Hathaway haters there. And I was like, how dare you? And they're like, I've heard this story. I was like, that story is a liar from an asshole's mouth. I'm going to be randomly defensive of Anne Hathaway. No, and so she's great. I mean, everyone in the movie I feel like is really top notch. Obviously, it's a Nolan film. It's great. I mean, the most you could do, I think, is argue, is it his best film? And then it gets into like, how attached are you to, not Memento, though I fucking love Memento. Oh my gosh. No, the one with,
Inception.
No, I mean, you're naming, once again, bangers. You're
I'm
naming
just throwing ones out
bangers.
there.
The
I forgot
magician
he
one.
made Dunker.
The magician one. Oh my God.
Oh, fuck. Oh, I know. That one's really good too. I forgot about that.
Most Nolan fans say that it's his best picture.
That's
and
the
I
one,
can't.
The Prestige.
Thank you. Oh man.
Yes.
Yeah. So
because there were two
that.
movies that came out at the same time. That was that was like Volcano Dante's Peak for him.
Yeah.
Because there's The Prestige came out, and then there was another movie with Edward Norton that came out around the same time that people forget about. And they were both really good. They're both very, very good movies. They're very different plots and like ideas around them. I love The Prestige though. The first time I saw The Prestige, I saw it 5 minutes in. It was like I turned on TV. I think I turned on HBO.
So
I thought it was such a better movie. I actually thought it was a better movie because I didn't see the opening where they're basically just like, it's a clone thing.
This was happening.
Like, just so you know, it's a clone thing. I was like, oh. So when I originally saw it, I remember sitting down with my ex at the time being like, you got to watch this movie. It's so good. And in the first 5 minutes, I was like, don't they tell you the whole plot? I missed that.
Yeah. What I will say with the Odyssey, it's been really just lovely watching from pre-movie when they were kind of like cheering on what they thought was their victory of we mass dislike this YouTube trailer. Look how much we matter and how much we drive the culture and all this. To them having to dart around to all these other things that they can try and say are critiques or wins. But I mean, the movie did over $250 million worldwide
in a weekend. In a single weekend.
It's the biggest.
That's crazy numbers.
Yeah, and so then you start getting into people that are talking about like
IMAX projectors are literally exploding right now because they're running them 24/7, and it's come out now that we actually don't know how to make. Just like landing on the moon, we also don't know how to rebuild an IMAX projector. Like they don't know how to make a new one. They lost the blueprints, like the full blueprints, the original IMAX. This is what they claim. They lost the blueprints, the original ones, and many of the engineers who worked on the original IMAX projectors have died. And they only know how to like retrofit them.
No. You know what it is? It's
I'm dead serious. This is what IMAX is saying. I don't know about this.
Well, yeah, of course IMAX would say it. They're like, oh, sorry guys, you can only go to these 40 locations to experience the movie as intended.
I live near one. I just haven't had time.
I mean, I love it. I saw it first in a Limax. I am going to go back and watch a screening probably at the Mall of Georgia. I'm going to be in LA soon, but I think the Universal one sold out for like 5 weeks unless you want to break your neck in the front row. So I've been going to a Limax rather than like the actual big one. But I mean, as far as them aiming at different things, one of the big things, it hits on the fact that it is like there are fewer seats because of how much money IMAX brings in. And so that's now become part of the conversation. But of course, that's not the conversation if we're talking about like Avatar movies for some reason. That's part of the thing. And what I will say, it's going to be very interesting to see what the long tail of this movie is going to be, because I think there are a lot of people that are watching it multiple times. And a lot of people that are like waiting for 70 millimeter IMAX tickets specifically. But yeah, who knew everyone was so defensive over a 2,700 year old poem? But to the point though, I've even seen now certain right wingers admit that it's a great movie. And then they're also getting shit for it. So like I saw Ben Shapiro going like, hey, he might have used the word masterpiece, or maybe that was Dave Rubin. Dave Rubin said that. And I was like, oh, I agree with Dave on something. But then, especially with Dave.
Clip that.
Fuck you.
Clip that and save it for later.
Just use it out of context.
Save it for later. We're gonna drop that in so many places.
No, anytime he gets out of line with the right wing, they then go, oh, you mean, and he's like, I think he said something along like, you're going to be surprised a right winger has this. And they're like, oh, a right winger? You mean a podcaster who stole a baby? And I'm like, ooh, there's the bigotry. Yeah. There's the bigotry on your side. You maybe made peace with it because you make money off of these fuckers, but a lot of them really deep in their heart of hearts hate you. They think you're disgusting, even though you're just I mean, your viewpoints, I think, are abhorrent, at least what you're spouting a lot of the time, but you're just another human being.
Yeah, Dave Rubin. That's the thing. Tokens get spent. And every now and then, he tries to go cash one in. This is the thing. I saw Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro liked it so much that he didn't even dead name Elliot Page, which that's what actually shocked a lot of people. It was like,
are you sure? Because I think you'd be one of 3 people watching a full Ben Shapiro episode at this point.
Oh, well, I was saying I saw the tweet. I didn't.
You're like,
see
I looked through the transcript.
Here's what's crazy. Actually, what's wild about Ben Shapiro is like Ben Shapiro weirdly is a decent movie critic if he actually is criticizing a movie, because he can't make one to save his fucking life. This is one of the famous things about Ben Shapiro is that he is a failed screenwriter. He has tried to make movies before. He's from like a family that's worked in entertainment, and so he actually has like ideas about movies that are, when you're not dealing with the cultural points of it, where you're not sitting there and trying to like. But then again, he also worked for the company that brought us Lady Ballers, so there's that. Sometimes when he finds a movie that he actually really likes, he will say really nice things about it, and then people are like, "Oh, that's actually like weirdly insightful." It's like, yeah, because he isn't someone who can sound intelligent. He is also a manipulative asshole. But beyond that, I think that the part that's so crazy to me is just like invading Iran. They knew attacking this movie would be a bad idea. Like, I don't think Nolan's ever had a movie that was truly terrible. It was always going to do well. And the other thing I think that's kind of frustrating is that we are sitting at a time here where, again, if this movie didn't make $250 million opening weekend, would they have then claimed that it was a failure?
Oh, no. So some of them are still saying that, like, they're in their bizarro world saying it's a failure. Right, because they're like, oh, it's going to have to pass an even higher number. Because we also now have to think about like the fact that it didn't somehow magically also beat its marketing budget the first week it was out. Because that's apparently how we gauge success. Everything has to be obsession. Like everything has to be like, so we made 400 times the budget. So I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but. By these guys, like right wingers, actually certain ones admitting, hey, this is actually a stellar movie. It's not this woke thing that a number of people were talking about. That opened up an area for another fighter to come in, and that was Ben Shapiro's sometimes dog, though eventually that dog is going to get off the leash, and that is Matt Walsh. Right.
Yeah. Matt Walsh, do we have a picture of Matt Walsh before the beard? I think that's been floating around the internet a while. Just to remind everybody whose opinion we have to pretend to actually care about. Matt Walsh is a huge bitch. I hate him so much. He is just, because here's the thing about Matt Walsh is he doesn't have talent in any way. There isn't like anything. I can't even figure out what he failed at to end up here. Because there's certain guys, like Steven Crowder is a failed stand-up comedian. Ben Shapiro is a failed screenwriter.
Michael Knowles.
Yeah, all these different guys. When you go down them, you're like, oh, you were trying to be something else. And then you failed into this. Like, Candace Owens weirdly, like, actually, she failed full circle to become the person she wanted to be, which is Wendy Williams. She actually failed full circle and became Wendy Williams. She is now the Supreme. But there's a few of them like this when you look at it. You're like, what were you trying to be? With Matt Walsh, like, I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to be. Like he gives off like maybe failed tour guide.
Yeah,
that's about it.
I'm like looking through his take, and it's odd, funny enough, maybe pun intended. It ends up being kind of like a last ditch effort life raft for people to latch onto and try and bring it back to Culture War home, because like his criticism is like the DEI casting is atrocious. Like he's like regurgitating arguments that people were taking L's on already, where people were started going, why was Lupita Nyong'o and Elliot Page so prominently featured and advertised in for this movie, and when their run times are like 5.5 minutes and 3.5 minutes, and it's like, homie, they weren't. You were the advertisement. You were the. This was. They said that Elliot Page was playing Achilles. They kept putting up Elliot Page next to Brad Pitt from 2004's Troy, and they'd be like, look, this is what we had before woke, when they're not even the same fucking character. Elliot Page is playing a completely different character. Achilles isn't even in the Odyssey, right? He dies long before they ever get inside of Troy. Yeah, I don't think he's in it, like, because that's the Iliad, right?
Yeah, that's from the Iliad.
Yeah.
He's not. Achilles isn't even in the Odyssey. But these people are so fucking dumb. And real fast, before we keep going here, Phil, just real fast, I do want to say, we're about to go on our own Odyssey. We're not about to abandon our wives to go onto a 10-year war and then take 10 years to go home while island hopping. No, we're going to be over about 2.5 months. We're traveling to 12 different cities across the United States, and you can see us right there, live, in your faces. Maybe reacting to the Odyssey, maybe reacting to incredible news, maybe reacting to bad news, and maybe telling you more and having special guests. Who knows? We don't know. We quite don't know what we're doing yet, but we're going to have a great time. CrashingOutTour.com. Find out all the different places. We're going to be up first. Our first 4 cities, Seattle, Portland, Boston, and Philadelphia, coming to you soon. But Phil, back to this shit about the conservatives. I want to pivot back.
What a transition.
I have to, all right? Because I have to, because it's so insane that they all act like this, like that myth. They did this bullshit. They did the same shit with Game of Thrones. They did the same shit with anything. If they see a black person in something that's set before 1750, they lose their mind. They're like, black people didn't, there were no black people. But like, race, the idea of race in this construct did not exist, number one, back in those days.
Sorry.
Most of the modern views on race are very new, that were created to make sure that George Washington didn't feel bad about enslaving people. That way he had a scientific reasoning around it. And the other part of it, though, is that it's not a real fucking story. There are giants, there are cyclopses, there are multi-headed dragons. There are so many things that happen throughout this fucking story. None of them were named that thing. At one point, they started screaming, there's no Greeks. Hey, buddy, just so you guys know, because of the way of migration of human beings, the Greeks we have today aren't the Greeks from back then. They got rolled by the Ottomans a lot. The Ottomans, the Romans, barbarians, fucking everybody ran through there. They took all the pretty ones and they took them. The Vikings rolled through. Rolled those bitches back up to Sweden. So, like, there's things that have happened over time. So they're sitting there like, I saw them complain at one point, like, one of the soldiers is Asian. Yeah, because it's a modern retelling. Dipshits.
Dude.
You made Homer a rapper? Yes. Because he can hold a beat. Fuck.
I saw a comment and I loved it where it was like, the people that are outraged about some of the casting, like their minds would melt if they went to a Broadway show. Like, it was just like, wait, who's playing who? That person's not. What?
No. Whoa. Ah. This is their reaction. I mean, this is why half of them had to make AI edits. A lot of them, I saw a bunch of the right wingers having to make AI edits to then get mad at. This is they have to keep, because again, they have to focus on this. They need this as a distraction, because if they look at what that they actually voted for, what they pushed for, and what they've been advocating for the last decade, their brains would melt.
But
like they've been at these same guys who've been screaming about this shit advocated to have masked men walk through our streets, shooting people in the fucking head, destroying gas prices. We now have poop lettuce everywhere to the point where we can't even fucking track it. Like, there's so many things that are happening at the same time. And so that's why they were like, oh, Christopher Nolan, black lady, you think men would want to die for a black woman? Yes, bitch. Have you not seen Rihanna? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how are you so racist? How are you so racist? How is your dick racist? Like, I don't understand. Like, Lupita Nyong'o she's a beautiful woman. I actually saw her in person. She came to Pennsylvania. But maybe that's why they're mad, because she advocated for Kamala Harris to be president. She came to Pennsylvania and did a rally, and I was like, she was very, very nice, very beautiful, and the whole time, and I was like, yeah. But also the ship, the face that launched 1,000 ships, that's propaganda. That's Agamemnon-based propaganda. Also, don't do aura edits of Agamemnon. He murdered his daughter for wind. You psychopaths. He got murdered by his own wife. There's a whole follow-up trilogy that you dumb shits never read. These fuckers never even saw the Wishbone version of the Odyssey, Phil. The Wishbone version with the dog.
Bernthal in the movie even like scoffingly says like the face that launched 1,000 ships. It's a whole thing. But before we go to break, the last thing I will say is there are tiers to why people act outraged by this. Some honestly just genuinely have nothing else better, like good going on in their life. And so it becomes like being a part of the mob allows them to be like angry at something. But then also There's the mid-tier content creator. They start getting the views. I see a lot of these people that jumped on this trend. They usually get just dog shit views. All of a sudden they find something that pops. They really latch on to it because they're like, oh, we're all in it together. And then, of course, at the higher end, you have some of these people that are literally monetarily incentivized to try to put out right-wing movies. So even taking like with something like the Daily Wire, like people there that would criticize a movie, you have to consider that they are trying to make alternative content. So even if they are wrong, if they are criticizing things, they give people something to latch onto so that they buy the next upload. They buy the next thing that goes to movie theaters. So it's a lot of it's just a bullshit game to keep people riled up and distracted.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is we've been talking a lot here about Christopher Nolan and like mentioning some of his movies. There's only one thing from a Nolan movie that ever like drove me completely insane. It's actually from the end of The Dark Knight Rises. That's the main Batman movie.
It's not Tenet? Tenet was like, I think the one that was most universal. Okay. Yeah.
I never saw Tenet.
That's the one more like universally criticized, even though if you turn your brain off, you're like, oh, whatever.
Well, Tenet was one of those weird ones because it came out during COVID, and then like he really wanted people to see it in theaters, and by the time, and then like they didn't.
I don't think that would have saved it for me.
No, but also on top of that too, they didn't want to release it directly onto streaming at first, and so they're like, you can pay for it. I was like, but nobody seems to really love it, and so I was like, I don't know if I want to waste my time on this. And it was 2020, and Trump was president, and it kind of felt like the world was collapsing, and we had like troops in the streets, and people didn't know if the food was going to kill us. And I was like, well, maybe if this passes, then maybe I could get into a Christopher Nolan movie. But in Dark Knight Rises, there's a scene, I'll never forget it. My wife and I went and saw that movie in theaters, which was, for some people was scary, because remember, when Dark Knight Rises came out, the Bane one, opening weekend of that, like a guy went into a movie theater in Colorado and shot it up, right? So there's like kind of that aspect to it. We went to the small theater in a small town near us and watched the movie. It's like a little bit older theater. And Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in that movie. And people always forget that he's in there. He plays a detective named Detective John Blake. And at the very end of the movie, it's very clear that he is inheriting the role of Batman. And he's filling out like the inheritance paperwork. And the lady who was like working the desk goes, "Oh, why don't you use your full name? Your first name's so nice, Robin." And like when she did that, I groaned.
No.
And I groaned. I was like, "Ugh, what?" And when we left the theater, I remember turning to my wife and going, "You know what? I'm glad everybody thought that line was stupid, because the other movie was pretty good until that line." And she goes, "Babe, you were the only person who groaned."
Yeah, I was like, you were in a theater full of losers.
Everyone else legitimately went, "Oh, he's Robin." And that's also my view now of basically the world. Of me going, "What the fuck?" And everyone's going, "I like the AI." That's how I feel about it. So basically, yeah.
Alex is right and everyone's wrong.
Yeah, that's the basis of this show.
I hate stress. In healthcare, it would be a lot less stressful if booking the appointment was not somehow the most complicated part. And thankfully, there is actually a much easier way to do it, and it's today's sponsor, ZocDoc. Right, calling offices, it's always been a part of just life that I dread. You sit on hold forever, you finally get someone, and then you find out the next appointment, it's 2 months away. Now, I skip all that, and I just use ZocDoc to find someone and book online. Right, ZocDoc, they let you search and compare local in-network doctors. They've built a huge network of providers across more than 200 plus specialties, so you're not stuck settling for whoever's available. And one of my favorite parts is just being able to see real patient reviews and detailed doctor profiles before I book. It makes me feel just so much better about who I'm choosing. And once you find the right fit, you can see actual appointment openings and book instantly. Most appointments, they happen within 24 to 72 hours, and sometimes you can even grab a same-day visit. ZocDoc, it saves me time and it cuts out a lot of hassle. That's why I use it. It makes the whole process way less painful. So hey, your health matters, and taking care of yourself should not be complicated. So find and book the right doctor with ZocDoc. Just head to ZocDoc.com/crashingout to get started and check that appointment off your to-do list. That's ZocDoc.com/crashingout. So yeah, I'm trying to think, was the Iran war back on last time we did the podcast, or was it just before?
It just had restarted officially just before the last episode we recorded.
But what is new is that we now have more dead U.S. service members.
Yes, we have more casualties.
Yes.
And we're going to give our soldiers testosterone.
Very important.
Just so you know, there was a whole thing. They were like, "Hey, I know it was like the day soldiers are getting blown up in Jordan."
But not gender affirming care. Not gender affirming care.
Yeah, he came forward and he was like, we're going to look smacks our soldiers. Everyone's going on T. Because Pete Hegseth, who is currently on his own Odyssey, losing boats all throughout the Persian Gulf, is completely convinced that the reason we're losing to one-way, very cheap drones and robots and AI decision-making is to make sure that our soldiers are just jacked. They need to be so ripped on every injectable possible that they can't touch the middle of their back. That's where they need to be.
Well, he said that it's not like to go crazy on. It's like you what is it? You voluntarily get your testosterone checked, and then they got you if you need it. But I think one of the big things too with testosterone is there is a wide range of what is considered normal. So it's going to be interesting to see how this is being proposed. Listen, but it's
everybody's
weird.
different, and this is one of those things with testosterone therapy. It's like up to you and your doctor in particular. This isn't a type of thing that we can kind of run through where they're going to be like, if you're below this line, then everybody's going to get it. It's very specific to different people, and it's also one of these things where it's like most of our service members aren't going to need this. It's a weird thing to be really pushing. I'm all for troops getting the medical care that they need, and obviously there's a lot of troops who aren't currently getting that because the CENTCOM, the Central Command, is hiding troop casualty numbers, not just the dead. They're specifically also been hiding the injured. This has been happening since the war with Iran has started. We've been in a constant move of like finding out we have people with traumatic brain injuries and more that are being hidden from the public because they don't want us to know the true cost of this war, and which is the reason why most people have to view the true cost of the Iran war at the gas pump, because we actually can't process it. There's been horrifying footage that came out, specifically from Jordan, from the strikes that happened on some of the open-air bases that we have over there. There have been discussions on whether or not we've hardened our bases enough all across the Middle East. But, I mean, the big thing people need to understand is up until basically February of this year, the United States had aerial dominance of the entire Middle East because of our forward operating bases that we've had in places like Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Jordan, and others. We have been able to the United States, been able to basically push air power wherever they've wanted with no one to be able to push back when the Air Force anywhere near capable of coming back to. But now we live in a world of drones, and we've lived in that world of drones now for the way the Ukrainians have been dealing with it for 4+ years, and the United States has ignored that almost completely. And now we're at a point where we are going to be putting up however multi-million-dollar aircraft, Black Hawk helicopters, and more that are being taken down by $100 drones that a guy is plugging and placing against repeatedly, in which there are technologies that we can put out for these things, but we are not prepared for whatsoever, and we have been stuck in a loop on this.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still just kind of stuck on the T thing, just because it by itself, I'm like, whatever. I'm like that's very Hegseth, but then also still Hegseth is like, do you remember Hegseth? Like he pulled the vaccine mandate. And then they what was it, like a month ago, they had to like dramatically reinstate it because they were like, oh shit, everyone's getting the flu. They're like, oh God. They're like, and so it does feel like all this like machismo surface level bullshit meeting the road of just the real world. And a lot of the time those things don't line up, and it's like jumping out of a car. It's like, oh, that'll be easy. I'll be able to keep running. And then you're just like, smack on the ground.
Well, because everybody's 12. This is 12. This is what a 12-year-old would think. This is a guy who was raised up on, like, he's reading Rob Liefeld comics back in the day, being like, our soldiers need more pockets and muscles. Your calf muscles aren't big enough, therefore you're not troop. Like, that's where we are. Like, this is dumb bullshit. He wants Hulk Hogan. Pete Hegseth wants Hulk Hogan carrying an American flag, jumping over, trenches, running forward with it like a spear. Like, that'll do something. We live in a time of drones. Like we have robot dogs, Phil. There's robot dogs with assault rifles on their heads that don't have recoil. We have technology that is insane. Like I can sit here with an Xbox controller and do all sorts of crazy shit these days. Palmer Luckey is designing new ways to get back at an X every moment of the day. He would love your shirt, by the way. People want to know where you get it. Also, wait, while we're at it, real fast. Where are those headphones from, and what are they called? If I see one more fucking comment about the headphones, where are the headphones from, Phil?
They are Shox Open Dot 2s. I got some cheapos gifted to me that were clip-on earbuds. I tried those. I was like, oh, I like these, but I wish they were better. These also then just came out a week ago, so I bought these. Best pair. I shouldn't be saying this because someone else is going to sponsor us. But great. And then the shirt, I don't know. Lindsay got me a bunch of stuff recently. Okay. She was like, I like you in a collar.
There we go.
And I said, yes, baby.
Yeah, because we aren't fleeing from our wives into the Mediterranean. We want to be home with them.
Yeah, no, if anything, when you were talking about the tour, I was like, if anything, the tour is going to make me want to be home. There's 3 weeks where I think I am working 21 days straight.
Yeah. For you, the listeners. So make sure you get those tickets now, crashingouttour.com.
And the home my wife and kids live in. No, but as far as Hegseth, it also doesn't end there, because one of the other big things that was in the news, and we can loop Iran in here and there, though somehow this administration has made a war that is making everyone's lives worse, worldwide, boring and unfollowable. It's like, it doesn't make sense. But one of the other things we saw with Hegseth and the armed forces were the whole flyover controversy, which I was very interested to know your thoughts. The moment I saw the screenshot of a frightened child, I was like, Alex is going to have some opinions on this.
Well, we've had a few of these now, because it started. Remember, this started with Kid Rock.
Oh, that fucking the helicopter.
Yeah, it was during the around the Nashville No Kings protests. There was a helicopter flew and hovered in front of Kid Rock's home, and he saluted them next to his little fake Statue of Liberty. And people were like, hey, you clearly went off the line you're supposed to go to. There was some weird shit happen here.
Yeah.
We're going to investigate it. And Pete Hegseth came and went, no, rule of cool, my friend. That's fine. So we had that. Then we've had some other ones of them flying low. Again, these are helicopters initially, flying low over a beach in South Carolina around July 4th.
Yeah, July 4th.
And then people were like, hey, that's maybe not a smart idea. We should probably look into that. Maybe the person who said that was okay. Maybe we pull them for a little bit and retrain them. And Pete Hegseth said, actually, that rules. And then this last one was the Blue Angels. Now, apparently this was a This was a planned flyover. This wasn't. It looked like when you first saw it, when I first saw the footage, I thought it was people at a beach weekend, and then the flyover happened. Like, people were there to see the flyover.
Right.
That part is thing. The one that flies by incredibly low is incredibly dangerous, and then it also kicks up the sand, and the umbrellas go flying everywhere, and then you see children on the ground covering their faces, weeping and screaming in terror. Now, this one was immediately, there are a lot of people said that there should be an investigation. Immediately, the acting Navy secretary said there would be no reprimands, and then Hegseth also said that there would be no investigation. He's like, this is too cool. We got to keep going. But the Blue Angels actually came forward and said, no, that was actually a mistake, that they actually misjudged the angle.
Is that real? Is that real? I don't know.
That's what I saw. I saw around there that they were saying that. And so what we ended up having is this moment where you have kids screaming and crying, umbrellas flying through the sky, horrifying images, MAGA immediately screaming, this is super cool, this is what we want, yeah, oh, those kids should get over it, those kids should stop being fucking pussies. And the administration also being like, yeah, shut up, dude, it's cool. We actually had a Florida representative said she spoke to a pilot, and then she posted that the Blue Angels pilot themselves actually miscalculated and didn't mean to swoop through that low. So this was actually a mistake, because they're supposed to be further over the water. Because the reason why, again, we've said this before, Phil, these things happen. The reason why you don't want these things to happen is because we even have modern day horrifying footage of aerial disasters, of crashing into the crowds. If that plane had hit, we would have had 100 people dead on that beach. Like, that's what would have happened. And Pete Hegseth and these other guys are being like, this rule's stupid. We don't need that. We're cooler. We're different until it happens. Because it will happen if they keep going at this rate. Like, there will be a horrifying accident. And then all of us are going to stand around going, well, who could have seen that coming besides the generations of people that said, don't do this again?
If you blind yourself to the potential human cost or the eventual human cost, you can also kind of understand like what a high they must be running on to know that if in that world where 100 people get mowed down by some stupid stunt, probably not going down in the polls. Like they're like,
why would they? I mean, listen, this is one of those moments. This was what, July 15th, which was as we were building back up to fighting over the Strait of Hormuz again. He's doing these flashpoint moments to show our cool tech that is being blown up as it's parked on bases all across the Middle East. Like this is propaganda. This is pure propaganda. This is pure bullshit propaganda. And they throw it out there, and so then our Facebook uncles can go, oh, you got a problem with that? You got a problem with American superiority and firepower, you woke lib piece of shit with your purple hair? That's what they want.
That's why they had to do the animated AI version, because everything went smoothly.
Dude, it was so kind. Exactly. They were posting AI pictures and being like, everybody loved it. I'm like, because you couldn't crop out the crying children.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's fucking nuts. And again, this is one of those things, like, they're doing this and going, look at us. This was just like when they signed the memo of operandum, memo of understanding. When they signed that at the same exact time.
Don't worry. I think that's what Donald Trump thought he signed, the first thing he said.
Yeah. The memo of operandum. I signed the memo of operandum. Now go post that we'll kill everybody everywhere. That's what I think they did. The Department of Defense, like the day we signed that thing that they were like, it's a peace treaty, we lost. And he was like, we can kill whoever we want. It's like, no, you can't. Idiots.
I just love this. Oh my God. If we didn't have to live in it, it'd be the best show on fucking earth. He's like, I brought peace to the Middle East. And then a week later, he's like, it was a bullshit deal with a bunch of scumbags. And I'm like, what? You can
honestly, can I say something real fast? They're crazy over there. Those people are weird. They're like, you killed my dad. I'm going to get revenge. It's a holy war. And I was like, all right, calm down. All right, it's New York, New York. The Knicks won. Things are good. Why are you being weird about it? I got to hold a trophy with Spanish people. They loved me. They thought I was great. I was hanging out. We were all there. Me, some Mexicans from Spain. We had a good time. Fucking idiot. Patriots, I gotta interrupt this crash out for a minute to fix the vibes using today's sponsor, Bellessa. Bellessa is giving away free Rose toys to every single one of you. And no, not just some of you, everyone who signs up at bbvibes.com/crashing wins something. That's the deal. Bellessa, they reached out. Not around. They reached out, and I've been working with them for a while now, and every time I tell people about Bellessa's sexual wellness products, my DMs fill up with 5-star personal endorsements from all the Pearl Maniacs and crash outs out there. Bellessa's built up a comprehensive catalog of wellness products for everybody and everybody. Doesn't matter who you are or what you're into, they've got something designed with you in mind. And let me tell you exactly what I respect about Bellessa. It's the intentionality. Everything is body safe, thoughtfully designed, and built to be inclusive. It's not about extremes. It's about people feeling comfortable on their own terms. Whether that's relevant to you or you're buying for a significant person in your life, and you know exactly who that is, there is zero judgment here. None. Not a speck of judgment. So look, we had to hook y'all up with their top-selling product, the Rose Suction Toy. Let me say it again. The Rose Suction Toy. We're sending roses out to everyone that places an order. Every single one of you wins a rose. They retail for $99, but you get it for free. That's iconic. Just click the link in the description or head to bbvibes.com/crashing. Let me spell that out for you. bbvibes.com/crashing or scan the QR code and get hooked up today. And thank you so much to Bellessa for sponsoring the show and fixing our vibes while we crash out.
So, Alex, you were bringing up the World Cup, the celebration. Were you a big Argentina supporter? Because it seemed like the internet, dude. The internet. I've seen the internet flip. The World Cup started, and everyone's like, Messi's the GOAT. Messi is the man. People openly cheering for Argentina. By the end, people were like, I hope they lose. Messi gets kneecapped and they nuke that country. And I was like, what the fucking, like,
well, a couple things happened.
A couple things
happened
but
there.
it was wild. I was like, the internet changed.
Yeah, well, there's a few things happened. Number one, people actually got information on why Argentina's team looks like that. So people started doing math. They were noticing every other country looked a lot more like the cast of the Odyssey.
Sure.
And Argentina looked a lot more like the cast of Oppenheimer. And they were like, why? Why is that? Why are they all so pale? And then people found out the history of Argentina basically removing all the black people from the country. And then there's the whole side of that of Argentina's history of Nazi rat lines, which we did a TMT episode about. Actually, there's Too Many Tabs episode about the Nazi rat lines. And then out of nowhere, Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ben Gvir stepped forward and said that Lionel Messi is their absolute favorite soccer player of all time, and they all started marching around wearing Argentina uniforms.
I will say, the Ben Gvir clips, I was like, oh, so we have to root against them.
Yeah,
it
legit became one of those moments where you're like, whoa, enemy of my enemy is, well, the friend of my enemy is, oh no. Like, it got weird.
I'm like,
fast.
I'm sure.
Also, the I Show Speed moment of him, them screaming racial slurs at I Show Speed, who was like, at that point, yeah, you're knocking off everything.
Yeah, there were a number of things, but yeah, I felt like, though, online it started really coming out during the Cape Verde game, because they were like kind of like the Cinderella story. Like they had that draw with Spain in the group stage, and then like from that moment on, it was like kind of nasty. And then you'd see the clips of like Argentina's players just like fucking manhandling people, doing disrespectful things. There was the of course, like the famous clip after England was out where they all like jumped on the flag and like were spitting on it. And so I think people took those moments, and then it became even bigger. I mean, you even saw to a certain degree like a smaller version of it when England-Mexico played, because when Mexico got knocked out, people were, like, kept playing the clip of a certain group of Mexican fans lighting fireworks outside of a place that they thought the English players were at. So it does feel like everyone gets very heated. Obviously, it's like the most popular sport in the world. So and it's fucking countries going against each other. It's not like, oh, the Jets versus the Giants. It's like countries with so much history fighting each other.
Famously, no one ever riots over this.
Over the Jets?
No, over soccer.
Oh, I was like, no, most Jets fans just want to kill themselves. I was like, that's the most.
Congratulations to Spain for having a higher win ratio than the Jets at MetLife Stadium. I mean, let me tell you how badly Argentina fucked the pooch on all of this. Is the fact that by the end of this World Cup, this did very much feel like the anti-colonial World Cup when it came to the internet, because depending on where you're looking at in comment sections, people were shitting on England, on Argentina, on a bunch of different countries because of their their international policies and their history of colonialism.
Sure.
So the fact that people cheered for Spain to beat Argentina, I was like, what? You're going for the granddaddy colonialist of them all? Was very interesting in that aspect. The other part of it that was fun is watching, once again, Donald Trump at a sporting event. Donald Trump showing up for the World Cup finals. Mm-hmm. They did a weird flyover that Ivanka filmed, where he was looking out the window as they flew over the new Air Force One that doesn't have the right anti-missile deterrence on it that they can't take to the Middle East right now. He flew over looking out, and I'll never forget seeing that and thinking, wow, Make-A-Wish president. And then he landed, and they gave him his iPad so he could ride in the car and be quiet. And then he got there, and it was him, the president of Mexico, the prime minister of Canada, and the king of Spain. I'm surprised Milei, the president of Argentina, didn't come up, because he and Trump love each other, and they both have dumb hair, and they both love doing stupid dances, and we've given them something like $8 billion so that way they can afford Messi. So I don't know why he wasn't there. But then Trump got booed, which is crazy. Can I tell you, Phil? It's wild because same thing with the NBA Finals. The ticket prices that were coming out of this World Cup final. There, you saw. I don't know if you saw any of these footage of people like being interviewed going in, like how much did you pay for these World Cup tickets?
Insane.
There were some of these tickets are like $7,000 for nosebleeds.
Lindsay, my wife was like, "Hey, do you want to go to the what was it, the semifinals here in Atlanta?" And I was like, "Let's look at tickets." Fuck that. I was like, "I have money. This is insane."
No,
it would be insane to pay those prices.
There are people paying between $7,000 and $20,000, right? So these are people with money.
I'm like, you could change someone's life with that amount of money. Like,
yes,
you could start a successful business. Like, there's so much you could do with this money.
For so many people, $9,000 would get them out of almost all of their immediate debt, and also like stock their entire house, and probably help them get first and last months for a better apartment. For many people. And instead, this was spent on watching 106 minutes of guys not kicking a ball into a net.
Okay.
They didn't kick a ball into a net for 106 minutes.
Okay, that was the only thing. That was one of the things I didn't like. Here's the thing. I have slowly grown to love the sport. It initially started from when I was traveling overseas. I'll watch here and there. MLS being here and actually getting like picked up by more like hardcore fans, that's helped it. So no. So I don't want to hear any of this like, no, it's like when people complain about UFC fights for being too technical, like when they're like, oh, they're just cuddle fucking, and it's like there's a lot of. I understand, like you want to see someone just get knocked the fuck out, you want that blood sport.
I like a big spoon.
There's a lot of technical play. Anyway, so
look at them run. Look, they're running, they're kicking. It's out. Toss it in. They kicked it out the other end. Now they got to kick it.
You know what? You know what they're gonna say to you? They're gonna say 4-1 and you were cheating. 4-1 and you were cheating.
I don't care. That's every 4 years we go through this.
That's not the I believe that we could win. It's I don't care.
I don't care.
Until we score and then we're like, I believe that we could
win. That's my view. Listen, I played soccer until I was like 11, and then my dad was like, "Hey, you have a game today." I was like, "No," and that was it. I looked up. I went, "No, this is dumb. I don't like doing it." And it's not like I like any other sport better. I'll watch football, but I'm not like super into American football.
Well, don't worry. Every sports,
the Eagles.
Every sport's just gambling now. That's all it is.
There is that. I saw that Mia Khalifa made. She won $1.6 million on her $1 million bet on some gambling app. I was like, I'm sure that's real money. Sure.
It might be. I
don't know. I was scrolling through my phone, and they were like, I'm like, is this a Kalshi ad? I don't know what's happening here. But let's get back to what people really want to talk about. Donald Trump getting booed by rich people. Because he got booed repeatedly. This is the point I was trying to make, is at the NBA Finals, at the World Cup, and at other things, these are not events that the average person is at. We still don't even know what the average person truly thinks in this type of way because they don't get to go to events like this. They can't afford it. Trump is only showing up at rich people events where he should not be getting booed by the people that he is actually, that's the class of people that he is supporting the most.
Yes.
But they're looking at him, they're like, you fucked up our tariffs, you fucked up international trade, you fucked up this, you fucked up that. They're all just looking at it, they're just like, you just suck. Like, that's where they are. And these are the people who statistically voted for him the hardest and actually, in many cases, financially supported them. So the fact that they're viciously booing him is saying something. And then for him to get one last Make-A-Wish, to get on the stage, did you see that the president of FIFA would not let go of the trophy because he wanted to make sure that Trump didn't steal it again? Because he stole the last trophy he touched.
I just saw the one where he was like, you got to get off the fucking stage, my man.
Couldn't get him off. To the point where both FIFA actually cropped Trump out of the picture. On their Twitter post, they cropped him. You can see just the edge of his arm because he's just standing off to the side. And then Spain straight up pulled out Canva Pro and they said, click on asset, delete. They did it. I was like, good for you, Spain. And again, this is just like the Odyssey. We ended up in a situation then where now MAGA had to pretend that Spain wanted him up there in that moment. You can watch the entire thing. Everybody with eyes can see that there's a moment where legit the captain who's holding it is like looking at him, is like, is he out of the shot yet? And then like the second they're like, I think he's out. Yay! They throw the trophy. They're like, yay! Jump, jump, jump. And Infantino's trying to pull him off to the side. The other thing, too, is now FIFA no longer has to pretend. Because FIFA, he's been holding basically, 30 games hostage? Where at any point in time, Trump could have been like, oh, I don't get to keep my trophy? That's crazy. I hope all of you guys have the right paperwork. Ice guys, go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is where we are. So now, I think we're weirdly going to see Infantino start to say some things about Trump. Because he's not going to worry about I don't think he's going to worry about it.
Dude, I mean, what was it? There's like the DOJ bribery thing that they dropped. Like, here's the thing. They are, I agree. There was that clip, I think, of was it the German commentators? They were talking about Infantino and Trump, and they were like, birds of a feather. Like, it's like,
two guys who
like
love power.
If you're going to talk about, people that are in love with power and themselves and are heavily associated by a lot of people with fraud and illegal bullshit and not great moral decisions. Like, I think they're pigs and shit together. So I do not think that it's similar to like the head of NATO, right? How he tries to navigate Trump. I think it's a drastically different relationship. Like, there are times that stuff said there that I'm like, have some balls, but also I understand this is someone trying to keep the alliance together, and there is a child that is at the head of a global superpower that he's having to deal with.
Yeah, I think that with the end of the World Cup, we're at a few things that people
I didn't know you were going to say cup at the end. So the end of the world, and I was like, yeah,
Well, with the end of the World Cup, sorry, Cup. With the end of this, though, I think that we need to keep in mind is that there is now no more major international event to hold Trump back until the Olympics in 28. It's a thing that I think people do need to understand. There has been, if you look at the timeline of the conflict with Iran and our peace and our negotiating, all of it aligns with major events that Donald Trump wanted to do instead of go to war. I want people to keep that in mind. We started to hear the rumblings of we're going to reach some sort of understanding that the MOU and those things that first really got going right before his June 14th birthday UFC fight. And then we had July 4th, and we had the World Cup going. And it's the same thing. The strikes on Iran did not happen until after the Winter Olympics, the closing ceremonies. Because, again, there's certain things. And there's a thing with violent narcissists like this where company is over. You're going to act a little bit better when company is over. But guess what, America? The company's gone. And you booed. You booed loudly. And you didn't cheer. And you didn't go to the state fair. You didn't go to the Great American State Fair. And you made fun of his Ferris wheel and his arch. And not enough of you got Paramount Plus. And the fireworks were cool. And it's not a green reflecting pool. He has a lot of grievances now, if he can remember them. What we can hope right now is that his Alzheimer's is kicked in to an extent that he is beginning to believe it's 1986. So he'll forget about the fact that we've been viciously mocking all of his failures as he goes and turns back into attacking the rest of the world in America. Because I don't like to predict too much, but like he is refocusing now. The good party time is over as these things leave. Because this is the reason why Iran started to heat back up. He lost control of it. He and Hegseth and Rubio and those guys lost control of it. But the other part, though, is he was kind of over the World Cup. Once the men's team got knocked out, he was like, oh, okay. Well, let's start blowing stuff up again.
No, so that's accurate. I mean, what's even funnier is, like, I don't think it's even in our show notes, but last Thursday when you're talking about him refocusing and pivoting, he brought up all the shit, like, where he was like setting the stage to start talking about election interference, to start casting doubt on the midterms. And it's been such his MO, and the stuff that he released doesn't actually prove what he says is happening. And it felt very much like just half of that, like setting the stage, and half of like a failed campaign speech that it was out of the headlines in 24 hours. Like
it
usually,
wasn't even covered. It wasn't even covered by a bunch of the major networks.
As far as TV, yeah, they went they streamed it online, and we were like, hey, this is gonna be bullshit. Let's turn it into a campaign fundraiser for Lindsay since she's running locally, and so we did a little pre-show, post-show, and live commentary while the man was just actively overstating things and lying. But it's
he specifically is targeting. I mean, not to be fair, he is specifically targeting the state that your wife is running for election.
Yes, no, and it was so ridiculous.
A lot of it's focused at Folsom County.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of it was just such bullshit, and it's like it is so troubling that I've started writing down names of campaigns that I'm like, okay, so local, state, other states, who are we throwing money at? Because it feels like we're going to need those people to be as well equipped as possible, because not only do you have Trump and the federal government seemingly like breathing down the neck of state officials and trying to crack down on legitimate votes, but then that's being funded not only by the existing billionaire president who's, enriched himself through the office, but a lot of other billionaire buddies that he's helped along the way as well. So I don't know. It in that way, it inspired me. And so maybe Trump can do that thing that he does where he unifies and inspires the opposition against him. But yeah, I feel like from that speech, I was like, okay, midterms, game on.
I think we'll see. I think a lot of people are still tuned out. Is a big thing that I'm seeing kind of everywhere, because if you look at a lot of these different races and where the polling is, I think we're in the middle of the summer right now, and I think a lot of people need to understand that. I just got back from my first ever family vacation with a toddler. I now understand so many references.
That's just road parenting.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's like, I had a great time. Don't get me wrong. I had a great time. There is your brain is in a different mode when you're staying in a hotel with a toddler than you ever can be when you're at home. I know where everything is, and I'm like, nah, there's an outlet cover on that. This thing over there. Not everything. I know exactly how pointy every corner of every table is. In the hotel, I was like, oh no. There's just so many things, and then we're at the beach, and there's a pool, and there's all this stuff. And so in that moment, I didn't have the emotional capacity to look at my phone to be like, what's this dumbass doing now?
Oh no, I mean, but like, stay away. Yeah, but stay away. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
When you're talking about traveling with a toddler, there is an age where it becomes very fun, and there is even there's even stuff that
what is that age, Phil? I need to know. I need to know where. Is it 7? Is it 4? When is it fun? When does it become fun? Because we had moments of fun. But then there's like, with a toddler,
moments
there's
are fun,
still nap time. There's still nap time. There's still diapers. There's early bedtime. There's all these other things you need to keep into account. And then on top of that, add in boomer parents, and you're like, oh, there's a lot happening here.
That's okay. That's a variable that can be very helpful or extra stressful. If they are the parents that are very helpful, fucking beautiful. Early bedtime, they're on the same schedule. They're on the same schedule. Mommy and daddy are going to go out. We're going to take some pre-alcohol so that we don't have to deal with hangovers tomorrow. Do some drinks, some dancing, some whatever. But if they're doing their own thing or you don't trust them, then it can add to a lot of stress.
They were great. They watched over the kid. It was during certain times. They're like, no, it'll be fine. We'll go over here. I'm like, you don't know what that's going to entail. That's more of when it's like, when you know you're a toddler and what they're going to do. One thing I discovered about my son is that he's the first time he's nervous. So we hopped him on like those little carnival rides.
Sure.
And he got on this one that was a fire truck. And then he's like, he doesn't look like he's having fun. And it's because he was white knuckling the steering wheel as it spun in a circle. And he was like, what is happening? And then it was done. He was like, oh, I survived. Oh, that's great. We're going to do this forever now. And I was like, oh, buddy, no. And everyone's like, let's go to the next ride. I'm like, he just wants this one now.
Yep.
And no one listens. And you're like, okay, now I got to fight people. But yeah, I had that. That was happening. And I was like kind of ignoring the news feed because the news was happening to us. Because I know you're down there in Georgia. Mm-hmm. You didn't have the sun get blackened out of the sky by wildfire smoke while you were at the beach with wet bulb temperatures telling you shouldn't go to the shoreline that you paid hundreds of dollars to be near, because the sun, Phil, literally choked from the sky. I took a picture. We'll put it on the screen here. I took a picture of the sun at 5:30 p.m. In July, and it looks like the second sun from Tatooine. Like I can't describe to you. I've tried this 3 years ago. We had this happen where the Canada lit on fire, the wind shifted, and all of the smoke billowed into the United States. For those of you guys who don't remember, 3 years ago, there were moments where it looked like it was just the sky turned this eerie yellow. There was thick particulate matter in the air. I remember it clearly because my wife was pregnant at the time, and I was very worried about how the smoke would affect her. I also had quit smoking cigarettes 13 days prior before the smoke filled our air. So I had finally gotten my sense of smell back, and all I could smell was smoke. So that was great. This time around, we were at a Delaware beach. And yes, Delaware has beaches, guys. Did you know that? No? Congratulations. You live at a place that's fun. But when we were at the Delaware beaches, the smoke was basically aimed right for where we were at,
right,
of where it was blowing across. We had this kind of wafting that was happening. I know Chicago got hit. Michigan was getting hit as well because it was coming originally from Ontario. But it was it's an eerie feeling. It's that feeling of inheriting a dying earth moment. And it was, I'm there on this family vacation. I'm with my toddler. I'm with my parents. And we're all just at one point we were talking about how hot it was. And my mom, I was like, we'll definitely do this again. And my mom said to me, well, let's do it in June next year because it won't be as hot. And then maybe we'll get here before the wildfires. That's a real statement we're saying now. 3 years ago, we never thought about wildfires. We have now gotten to a point where we're planning around it.
Okay, yeah, for you guys. So this is okay.
For us, I'm saying for here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
this is where much has shifted.
I was going to say this is a bit of a divide because prior to Georgia, I lived in California for 15 years, and I'm like, what are you talking about? We always have to worry about it. Whenever we see green, we go, uh-oh. That's a lot of fuel for next season. But this is also one of the things actually I found out in 2023. In 23, because I was TikTok was blowing up and things, I was posting about how odd it felt and explaining to people that this wasn't normal. I'm 42 now. Then I was 39. I'm 39 years. We never had the sun get blacked out. But the sun was never diminished by fire in Pennsylvania. And I had so many people from the West Coast being like, wildfires happen all the time. I'm like, not on the East Coast. And they just, there's been a disconnect here. There's also a thing, too, with the wildfires on the West Coast about how those have gotten worse over time, number one, because of climate change, and also because of developments and where we've been building things. But that wildfire season also is a newer thing over there as well. It's become one of these things that we just normalize over time where we go, well, there is a way we could maybe combat this, but it would be very expensive and very time-consuming. We have to do a lot of effort for it. So why don't we just sell personal respirators? Because that's what I saw in 23. People selling personal little fan things that go around your mouth to make sure it scrubs the air for you. Yeah.
People were selling KN95 masks again. They were actually giving them out in New York, to which MAGA was screaming, "You're not going to make me wear a mask." But I mean,
I will say, the mask stuff's so weird because to the point where, I'm at a place where if I am traveling and I have the sniffles, that is usually one of the only times that I actually want to wear a mask, and it's for other people. But I know depending on where I am, I'm going to be ostracized like a motherfucker. And so I'm just like, I want to protect you, but you're going to act like I'm an asshole.
Yeah, I would protect you, but you're a dick.
So then I'm in this weird situation. I will say, as far as the wildfires, when we've been covering it, we've seen experts go, it's very bad. But it's not as bad as 2023 because the fire season started earlier. So maybe that's a silver lining if the fires also slow down. It is really troubling though.
Well, 23 at one point, the Philadelphia region had the worst air quality in the world. We actually went beyond purple at one point because I remember again growing up and living on the East Coast my entire life. I've never had to follow air quality indexes. They've always been in 50-ish. It's always been 50. If it was a little higher, it would be a little blip little asterisks at the bottom of the weather report, right? It wasn't a normal thing. So like having to go to the air quality sites and check those things, having to buy air filters for the house. When I got back from the beach, my brother-in-law was watching the house for us and watching our dog. And I was like, oh, I have a Shark HEPA air quality filter. I'll plug it in. When I plugged it in, it turned on and the circle was red and it said 41%. It wasn't that bad. I turned it on one other time because we've been having some construction done at the house and they were ripping plaster walls down. When my entire first floor was full of plaster dust, it was at 60%. That's just to tell you about like how bad the air quality is inside my house while we've been dealing with all of this smoke from the wildfires. The other thing I saw is, again, MAGA and right-wing and conservative politicians and content creators be like, oh, we should fine Canada for this. And it's like, guys, number one, you can't. Number two, you're an idiot because our wildfire smoke is also currently going into Canada and doing the same exact thing to them. It's a cycle that's spreading across the United States. People in Michigan are complaining about it and going, oh, this has never happened to us. But we have Oregon and I believe Oregon and Washington currently have wildfires, which will be in a couple weeks. We'll be in Portland and Seattle.
Hell yeah, baby.
CrashingOutdoor.com. But they have wildfire smoke that's currently billowing into Canada. Should America pay? Should we? Canada regularly sends firefighters down to help us with our forest fires down here as part of a system of us helping each other as good neighbors. Should we pay for that? Should we be sending American firefighters up to Canada? A bunch of people then said that the Canadians aren't taking care of their forests well enough. Have you seen the size of Canadian forests? Of like where we're talking about here. Like there's a lot that's happening in this. The climate has changed, and I'm seeing people regularly say, even conservatives, like, oh, this is really weird. It didn't used to be like this as I was a kid. It's changed. The weather has changed. It must be a conspiracy is where we've ended up at.
Yeah.
Because, again, it was said in the prior episode, they want Greenland now because the oceans are heating up. It's opening up shipping lanes and access to minerals. The sky is literally on fire. We have a series of things. We know what we need to do. And the people that are standing in the way are between 70 and 90 years old, and they're being controlled by billionaires who want to keep making money so they can go down to their kid island. I'm not wrong. I don't know. Maybe I might want to bleep that one.
Summer plans, I mean, they always sound simple until one quick outing turns into 12,000 steps, 3 unexpected stops, and weather that apparently wasn't consulted. And that's why today's sponsor, Vessi, and their weekend sneaker makes so much sense. It's a kind of everyday shoe that you can wear for errands, commuting, travel, or whatever your day quietly turns into behind your back. And because it's Vessi, it's fully waterproof, so surprise rain and badly judged puddles don't automatically mean wet socks. Or the waterproofing is built directly into Vessi's knit technology rather than added as a heavy outer coating. So the weekend, it stays lightweight, flexible, and breathable enough for warmer summer days, which matters because waterproof, it doesn't mean sealing your feet inside of 2 personal greenhouses. They're comfortable, easy to style, and clean looking enough to work with basically whatever you're already planning to wear. And they're easy to pack, making them a great one pair option when you're traveling and refusing to dedicate half your suitcase to shoes. And for me, that's definitely one of the big appeals. One comfortable sneaker that can handle a long day, sudden plans, and weather being dramatic. Plus, Vessi backs them with a 1-year warranty and 30-day hassle-free returns. So just go to vessi.com/crash or scan that QR code and get 15% off your first pair. Seriously, check out Vessi. They've got a lot more than you probably realize.
Speaking of kids, Phil, Andrew Tate got arrested.
Andrew Tate. Well, speaking of kids' clothing, like this, I don't know what this man was wearing. I know that, so what he was wearing when he was being handcuffed is should be the least important thing, but it is one of the interesting things for someone that is like a self-described alpha male that's like, I am peak masculinity. And I'm like, you look like certain things. I don't know how to say this in a way that's PC.
I would say he looks zesty. And why is he wearing capri pants? I've checked in with many people. I've checked in with many drag queens. They're like, everyone can make fun of the capri pants. Everyone can make fun of the shoes. The fact that they found his exact outfit in England, and you can wear Andrew Tate's look completely from a woman's store for $36. But I know a lot of people are making fun of his look, his fit, the fact that he told the governor of Florida, DeSantis, if I am guilty of anything, come get me. The taunting, all these things. But I do think we do need to mention in this group of charges that are against him, there is one of CSAM specifically.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are glossing over this. A lot of people are making fun of it because it's Andrew and Tristan Tate. But we are, I don't know, I'm going to leave it to you for what language we're allowed to use on YouTube for describing. And this is one of the things we run into a lot, though, actually, when it comes to social media. You can't just say some of these charges anymore, or at least people are worried about saying them.
Yeah, so what I will say, specifically around Andrew Tate, is we can say that, I'm trying to think of a way that this video doesn't get suppressed from it. There are what's been described as charges about indecent images of, what you were just talking about. We've also seen quotes used around extreme pornography in this sector, and that's in addition to several counts of rape, arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, assault occasioning actual bodily harm, and then Tristan Tate has fewer charges than Andrew, but a number of these offenses
they're similarly as bad.
Yeah, and
which
so
I want to be clear about again, because this is one of those things where I saw a lot of people making fun of it. And this is he was arrested by U.S. Marshals to be extradited to the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Because these are British charges. Specifically around, I think some people are confused about the extreme pornography charge. That is a British charge. We don't have that charge here in America. But the CSAM part is the one that I keep leading towards and looking at, because that hasn't been mentioned up to now. Andrew Tate has been accused of many of these things, specifically in Romania, by people online and others, but the fact that there is an image of a child that has popped up in here is something that I do want people to point to and to mention more, specifically because Andrew Tate, in the last 18 months, since Donald Trump seemingly made a boss call or something happened in there, Andrew himself said that he was close friends with Barron Trump, the president's son, and others. He has been doing a tour. Andrew Tate went on to he went on the Tom Segura podcast. He went on was it Tucker Carlson? He's been on with Candace Owens. I think he was on with Benny Johnson at one point. He's been on all of these different right-wing ones. Again, to wash him, very similar to Russell Brand, where it's he could go on. They're like, oh yeah, he's been accused of stuff, but nothing's stuck yet. And I'm like, guys, I think it's sticking now. I think it's sticking. And so I'm interested to see kind of how this is going to continue, but also he should be, in my opinion, locked up forever with the key thrown away. And what some of the greatest crimes that he has done aren't even actually in these charges, because what some of the greatest crimes he has done has been poisoning the minds of so many of our young men, specifically children, over the last decade with the horrifying shit that he has said and how he scammed people for money using his online Discord server university bullshit.
No, I think CSAM's probably the safest way. One of the ways they talked about it were that there were 19 charges that were related to extreme pornography and indecent images. Just keep in mind that it's in the avenue of what you're talking about, and that's in addition to the counts of rape, the accounts of arranging or facilitating trafficking for sexual exploitation, the counts of assault occasioning actual bodily harm.
And Phil, the thing that I think that's really insane with the Andrew Tate, Tristan Tate thing is our federal government worked really hard to bring them to America. The government worked really, really hard to free them from a Romanian prison, to bring them to America, to let them do all this different stuff, to run around, to go to UFC fights, to do podcasts, to do all these things, only for more of these charges to come up. And it's just one of these it's a weird own goal. Why are you mixing your brand with this in that way? That's always been very confusing to me.
Well, the Tates have been also another lightning rod for a lot of the MAGA Civil War stuff, right? Because he's talked about his connections to Barron Trump, and there's been all this talk here. But then, right, you have him, coming toe-to-toe. I don't even think toe-to-toe is the right way to say it, but all of a sudden having this rift between DeSantis, right? And while you have certain creators like Ben Shapiro and others who have denounced Andrew Tate, you then also have a number of right wingers that have embraced him and have stuck by him. I mean, some of the kind of like more controversial figures on the right have also, there's way more to this. It's worth its own video, but like the fallout between him and other creators like Sneeko, right? I think that's been really something that's interesting to watch. And like
Andrew and Sneeko,
Andrew Tate and Sneeko.
Okay.
Yeah, there was like, I don't know, there's like a very involved thing. But and even seeing, I don't know, there's maybe even this might be too into the culture war right wing internet space, but watching how Sneeko has navigated that, because I feel like there was that moment where you had all those right wingers together. So it was him, the Tates, fucking.
Oh, is this the clavicular moment when they
clavicular
were all,
and they did the Hail Hitler thing, right?
Yeah,
that was kind of them all coming together trying to act like this. We're like we're the fuck you Avengers, and then there was a controversy and they started eating each other and breaking off, and it's kind of stemmed from that.
Okay, got it. Yeah, because there was a weird moment. That is weirdly the peak, by the way, for them. That was their peak, and they just don't even know it. Because it was like it was what? It was Fuentes. It was clavicular.
Fuentes.
There was the guy. It was a Myron Gaines was there. The Tates were there. Sneeko was there, and a few others. The worst part is the fact that I know any of these people's names. I think that's the part that I'll never forgive Al Gore for inventing the internet for. Because none of these fuckers would have had anything back in the TV days. Like, none of them. They wouldn't have even been able to sell a fucking book. Because they're all completely propped up by clip channels and Discord servers for the most part. Sneeko is one I find interesting because I think that he might be the most cockroach-like of all of them, because every other day he seems to pivot towards a different thing. Like, sometimes he remembers, sometimes he goes like weird Nazi, and then other times he's like, oh, actually, I like Zoran, but wait, I'm going to wait. He feels like that MAGA for Mamdani type of hat guy. Like, that's just like what the effort he's giving off. Aiden Ross is another one. I know Aiden Ross was really, didn't he sniff Andrew Tate's chair at one point?
Yeah, so here's the thing. You're talking about this weird mishmash of performative. You're talking about this weird mishmash of like very highly calculated and also people just being people. I actually, from what I have seen, no, okay, so once again, I'm not comparing apples to apples, so it's not a perfect connection, but when I look at Sneeko, I see my brain goes into a place of almost Marjorie Taylor Greene, in that I believe that he believes what he believes, right? And that there is fluidity to it, that changes, right? But there's also obviously, he's also.
I've never actually watched. I just want to say, I've never actually watched anything from Sneeko. I've just seen clips of things that pop up, and every time it's been against my will. It's a thing that he's a creation that seems to invade my FYPs sometimes.
Yeah. But also, like, that's not to say that he's like just this regular person. He is also very, I think, smart and highly calculating, but there is, I think, a little bit more of a human element, whether I agree or disagree vehemently on a number of things. So, and once again, that comes from a place of, I always try and think of like, who is the human first? And if you hear me talking shit on somebody, it's usually because I've gone through this process and been like, oh, they're just, I don't think that they're a real human. They're just like a thing that's trying to manipulate, and that there's not a core there. And I'm not going to always be right, but that's based off of, the painting that I see of these people online.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think, and just for the listeners who are like, what the hell are they talking about? Sneeko is isn't he a Kick streamer?
He's a lot. He actually he was one of the early Mr. Beast people. A lot of people don't realize that. And so like when you're talking about someone that understands online culture and strategy, like I think it might have been like very briefly, but yes.
I don't even know. Okay, that sentence I don't even understand. I'm too old for this. That's my feeling sometimes.
That's a healthy place. You're talking about taking breaks on the weekends. I'm doing that more and more. Like you're talking about.
Well, you're doing that until 3 weeks from now. In which case, there's no more breaks, buddy. All right? Breaks are done. We're got 2.5 months of just on the road.
The tour's
you and me flying city to city, seeing people's smiling faces, crashing out tour.com, 12 different cities. We're going to eat so many local cuisines. We're going to be like, how was this town? I'll be like, the airport was lovely. I love the Hilton. And then we're going to get out of there.
It's going to be good.
Content.
We've been sending each other meme videos like, should we do this one?
Should we do this one?
Should we do this one?
I'm gonna bump into you, and my AirPods are gonna fall out, and you're gonna put them in, and you're gonna be like, really? This podcast? That's insane, and that's what it's gonna be. It's just gonna be me listening to myself yelling.
Do you listen to the podcast after you're done?
What, this podcast?
Yeah.
No.
I do. I listen through one more time, and it's a completely different experience for me. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot we talked about that. Oh, what was I thinking about during this section that I was trying to transition to?
You know what, Phil? Let me tell you. I'm more involved in the pre-production. I try to stay out of the post-production of this show because on TMT I do have to review all of that before we post it because I have a different. We have our own team over there, and so we have a different workflow for it. So it's like I do pre-production here, I do post-production over there. But speaking of pre-production, Phil, I have a game.
Oh, are you surprising me? Ooh.
All right, Phil, listen. As I said earlier, I went down to the beach in the middle of Canadian wildfire. Yeah. And the people who are watching this on Spotify or on YouTube, they can see that I'm wearing actually soon-to-be discontinued merch.
Yeah.
I almost crashed out, and then I remember the Dow was over 50,000 shirt. It is going away from the store very, very soon. And so while I was at the beach, I was looking at a lot of other merch that's out there, Phil. And as you know, at every shore town you go to, whether it's at the Jersey Shore or down in Delaware, there's always those beautiful T-shirt shops. And so I was looking around. I was trying to think of some new Crashing Out merch, but also more in particular, Phil, we have an election coming up in 4 months. And I like to choose what type of fit that I am going to wear. And in Pennsylvania, we have very specific rules around what we're allowed to wear to the polling place because you aren't allowed to wear anything that is political. You can't do electioneering inside the polling place itself. So you have to wear like a hoodie or something. You can't wear your MAGA hat when you go in. So I need to find a shirt that is not political that I am going to wear to actually vote in person this November, and I want you to help me choose it. So I picked a selection here of shirts that I've had producer Ben pull up for us here, and all of these I took after I discovered that there are dispensaries in Delaware. Okay, so first one here, we have a shirt that is a checklist. You love a checklist, right,
Love
Phil?
it, love it.
It says, yes, I do have a beautiful daughter. I also have a gun, a shovel, and an alibi. What do you think of that one, Phil?
That feels like electioneering. That shirt says. That shirt I'm not just right wing. I'm on Facebook a lot.
Yeah, and so let me tell you what we're gonna do. I have a selection here. I want you to pick your top 3, and then we're gonna have people vote on them. So keep a little list in your mind here. All right, next one. Let's go ahead. So this one, speaking of which, Delaware dispensary, joint custody, and it's two reefers holding a little reefer.
I think they take your kids in Georgia if you wear this shirt.
You think so? I do love how you can see in the shot that it is directly beneath a Rick and Morty. Yeah. Up next, we have Orgasm Donor.
That's a classic.
Phil.
That's a classic.
It is a classic. I saw this in so many colors.
That's female boob inspector territory.
It is. It definitely is a female body inspector.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like the you went weirdly. That went weirdly like almost anti-woke. Female boob inspector.
Wait.
No, because only women. That got weird in that way. This Orgasm Donor shirt was the one I saw everywhere in like every color possible. Because these are all screen printing shops.
Yeah.
And they just steal each other's designs. Because I think they just go to iFunny and they hit right-click, save as, and then they just print them.
Yes.
All right, so Orgasm Donor. Phil liked that one. Now this one, Phil. This one, don't zoom in. This is the shocker with donuts and seemingly Mickey Mouse's gloved hand. And there is a strawberry and a chocolate donut, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink, and all covered in sprinkles. I'm describing these for the audio listeners because there are people who literally listen to this on podcasts. What do we think of this one, Phil?
I feel like everyone wearing any of these shirts belongs on a list. Different lists, but on lists. I'm not usually.
These come with Jeep ducks. Up next.
Fuck you.
Now, I want to know what you think of this one. This is the classic Italian brain rot shirt, Phil. It says Italian brain rot, and then it's just covered in what I can only describe as AI YouTube short garbage.
You saw Italian, you went there. You went, hey.
I went immediately with it. Yeah, there is. Wow. I don't even know what half these things are. There's a cat with a fish body.
I feel like this is either worn by a 4 to 6-year-old or a 55-year-old man. There's no in between because at even right now at 8, my youngest is like so cringe. This is so cringe. This is too much. Like, yeah, it's also like, I feel like expired, right? Maybe when it was initially came out, it was like, oh, this is so weird.
Yeah, this shirt was pretty faded. I think one thing I have noticed from beach shore culture is that they kind of pick things that were very popular 4 months ago, and then they just start printing them. But I thought you might like the Italian brain rot run, so I threw it in there. So we'll go to the next one.
Thank you.
This is just TikTok All-Star. I don't know. I don't know if I want to get recognized at the polls, but I want to throw that in there.
If I see you in this shirt, I'm making fun of you.
If I wear a TikTok All-Star shirt?
Yes, absolutely. It's so not you that I can never see you wear it. But also, like, if you were gifted it, you might wear it for half a day.
I will say I do feel weird sometimes because I have so much merch from both CO and from Too Many Tabs that I have. Because, every time we make a shirt, we get want a proof to make sure it feels right, check the material, all those things, and to wear on the show to sell it. And when I wear my own merch out, I'm always like I'm just running to the grocery store, it's fine. I'm wearing it at the house, it's fine. But when I'm out with my Stay Angry shirt on and I'm like, at the Acme, like just buying a 6-pack alone. I'm like, that feels weird.
This shirt might actually trigger me the most because I think what I'm realizing is I might be more open to being a friend to someone that is cringy or a creep rather than, I think only a narcissist would wear this shirt.
The TikTok All-Star shirt?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm guessing that you're not voting for it for the top 3. Go ahead to the next one. This one says, relax, gringo, I'm legal. This is a real shirt. I don't know if this would be considered electioneering though. If I'm allowed to wear this shirt. But this is on the list.
I feel like the way you talk about me sometimes, deep into summer, I think you'd buy this for me.
The way you tan?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a Phil post hike. By the way, I did buy this hat. It says, Please don't take me hiking. I did buy this specific hat. It's for you.
I sent the group chat pictures from a new hike that I found because Alex is going to be visiting soon. And then the next day, I didn't tell you this, I took my kids. So your bitch ass is going up that hill.
Nope. I'm going to wear this hat. I'm going to wear my Please Don't Take Me Hiking hat, and then you can't make me do it.
Okay.
All right, what we got next?
I'm not turning, just so you know, not turning the air conditioning on in the car once I leave. So you can figure out how you're going to deal with it. Oh, my God, this shirt.
Yeah, this shirt just says "I eat ass" and it's in the NASCAR font. This one also is sleeveless, Phil, but I did see it with sleeved options because again, you can get it printed on.
That has been one of the most drastic changes I think over the last 2 decades. Is the openness about eating butt.
Eating butt.
Eating butt.
Yeah. Now, do I want to be open about eating butt while I'm voting? Let's find out together. What do we got next? Now, this one really struck me because it's the first good pronoun shirt I've ever seen. It says, "Oh, you're into pronouns, huh? Me too. Let me she/them titties. Let me she them titties." I thought this was great, and
20-year-old Philip DeFranco is wearing this shirt.
Really? I think this. Can I tell you? So where we were, Rehoboth Beach, Delaware, is a gay beach. Which is good because I feel like if I was at Ocean City, Maryland, I would not see something this progressive. This is actually weirdly a progressive pronoun shirt versus other ones would be like, "Oh, you're into pronouns, huh? Me too. America." Like, you know what I mean? It would be some dumb, you know, that one meme. Like, that's what it'd be. So let me she them titties. I think, this is a pretty good one.
This is one of those tweets that I like show to the person next to me and then don't retweet.
Yeah, this isn't a screenshot one, right? This isn't a screenshot for the group chat, but I am willing to put it directly onto the show. Finally, Phil, I got the last shirt. It just says, "Sounds gay, I'm in."
Just so you know, that's the number one. That's for me.
That's number one in your heart.
Oh yeah.
So here's what we're gonna do about this, Phil. I want you to tell me your top 3, and then we're gonna give it up to the people. We're gonna do 2 polls. One of which I've been told that we can do polls on Spotify. So if you guys want to go over on Spotify, you can vote down there in the comments. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to put up a community note on a community post on YouTube with a poll, because you can do those over there. So we'll put that up there as well, and then we'll have producer Ben combine them and find out which shirt I am going to wear to Election Day, Phil. I do love the Sounds Gay I'm in. Obviously, you guys know I love the pronouns one. But, Phil, what were your top three? So, obviously, you said Sounds Gay.
All right, so number 1, Sounds Gay I'm in. 2, if I want to do a little bit of a switcheroo, keep them on their toes, they don't know which one, I'm going Checklist, right?
Oh, you're going to do the daughter one. Okay, got it.
Yeah, and 3, I think it's got to be Relax Gringo, I'm Legal.
Okay. All right.
The other ones are just.
Those are going to be those are the three
I know you.
shirts
I know
that we're
you.
gonna...
I know you like the pronoun one, but it does feel like I'm just sexually harassing everyone I'm walking by, no matter the fact that I'm not making eye contact.
You're choosing what you would feel comfortable wearing. That's me, and I'm the one wearing it. I'm actually, can I just say real fast? I'm actually shocked that you didn't go with I Eat Ass. That would have been the one. If I was making you wear a shirt to Election Day, I would make you wear that one.
Wait, am I misunderstanding? Am I supposed to pick the worst one? So, because that's what you're going to wear?
No, you're a good person. Apparently, I'm shocked by this. I'm finding out that you're a good person by what selection you're putting up for the vote.
I'm glad it took this long.
It is good. It's a good thing, Phil. And with that, I think we're almost wrapped up today's episode. I mean, we didn't get to the fact that Cuba is apparently backing all of left-wing blacklisting throughout America, including Hassan Piker. We didn't really get to touch on too much of that. But, there's a lot more, and there's always more time to crash out, Phil. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people?
No, just love you faces. Thanks for listening. We're a month out from the first show, first live show, and it's gonna be good. You're gonna get annoyed. I'm gonna start pushing this thing hard.
Oh yeah. Listen, we got the stats. We know a couple of the shows are very close to selling out. Yep. Looking at you, Seattle. Looking at you, Portland. So we want to see you guys soon. We'll see you guys loud. And as always, make sure you get that merch so you can crash out in style.